Hello and welcome. This is Diana and you are watching Holistic Vibes. This is going to be a reading for the sign of Libra. It's going to be what you need to surrender for this new moon. And understanding, because we are obviously still in the energy, but it's really kind of talking to, and it's been the what are you reinventing in your life? Where do you feel like this rebirthing happening, right? Where do you need to surrender to the connection with the divine? It's kind of like that whole like finding your spark of joy again, understanding that like the layers that you've been shedding over the past year, the past 2 years, like it was essentially the facade that was no longer serving you, right? It was kind of like the owning the, okay, am I the who, what other people told me I was? Or am I, rediscovering myself? And so it's through that process, you are, really cohorting and expanding with the connection of the divine. And it's almost like birthing a new cycle in this phase, right? I've been told like that this next phase is going to be like an 8-year cycle. So consciously being aware, remembering like what it is that you want to proceed forward with. And yeah, it's through that process of release, like that you are going to step into the desires, the hopes, the wishes, the dreams that are your divine destiny, right? So journaling, writing out your desires, the what you see, being very proactive, productive during this time, and leaning into like your own happiness is going to be the key to your success and to like amplify turning the light on, right? And so what are we releasing fully? And they just told me we're going to do a clearing out of your body. So for those of you that don't know, please ground your energy. Okay. Is that it? Okay, so for those of you that are in survival and worry, let's just go ahead and name it and claim it. And let's identify where you inherited this from your parent. This actually is an energy that you have been working through this energy, right? But the fact is that this was pushed onto you by a parent. And so honor like where addiction lives, and this can be like a compulsory control avenue, right? Like where you feel the need for control, to control your own little bubble, to control your own experience of what's unfolding, right? To control people around you, to want to be they're just showing me like a main hub, like pushing things out. And so like where have you been camouflaging like the who you truly are, like in your heart of hearts, right? And where have you felt inadequate in the things that you do? Where do you feel like you're faking the funk, right? Where are you in the position where you feel like what you've done for other people do not do for you, right? And like I'm kind of getting, there's a pulse right on the left side underneath the cranium, kind of about an inch away from the ear. And so if that's where that lives, if you get headaches, if you get tension headaches, if you get pressure points, like identify and honor that vision, right? Honor the what it is that you have been lugging around. And in this rebirthing phase, like grab onto the magic that is your ability to manifest, to really truly implement the things that like your heart desires in this lifetime. And like through that understanding, through they're saying compelling, a compelling proposition. Okay. You are going to be kind of stepping into like the purpose of the why you're here, of the why things have played out the way they are, right? It's almost like the bindings that have held you in spot are actually going to be fully released. It's like the blocked creativity, the being in a state of weakness, the not feeling like you're in victory, the losing and disadvantage, the oh poor me, all of those things will start to dissipate, right? And it's like because again, it's the managing the voices that you hear, that you think are your own internal thoughts that are tearing you down. Because remember, the Creator is never going to speak to you in a negative way. It may pop you in the butt occasionally, but it's going to do things that are going to help feed your soul so that you get on the proper pathway that you need to for evolution. And so like by honoring and seeing the like what you've been holding on to, like through meditation, through connection to the divine, it's kind of like you then release the judgment that you've had on others and you step into your own internal strength. It's through that dialogue with self that you come into your own inner being and out of survival. Because the truth is like with all the planetary alignments, you can't tell with what's happening around and with the facade of this satanic narrative and agenda. Like it's trying to pull us out of a state of love, right? Out of a state of contentment, out of a state of clarity. And God really wants you to push into a state of reverence. And when I say God, it's source energy, it's Creator, right? It's the reason why you're walking on the planet. And not religious connotations whatsoever. But it's kind of like once you let go of all the bullshit that like other people have forced onto you, that told you that was your truth, it's you understanding the people, the places, and the things that resonate with you, and the vibrational frequencies, be it family or not, that no longer resonate with you. It's kind of like the dysfunctionality has drawn a line in the sand, and you're tired of living in that old paradigm. It's kind of like I'm getting a energy of like, I'm so fed up of people not seeing my strength, or not seeing like how I've held it all together this entire time, right? Biting your tongue when you wanted to speak out loud. And yeah, and that's that confirmation that has something to do with a past life. It has something to do with what you have already experienced, right? And it's the understanding like where you've been manipulated or left aside from the frequency of like your divine heart. It's kind of like when you finally understand what has been driving you, whether it be fear, like anger, resentment, for survival nerves, right? Like, and in all honesty, like if you are going through a vibration where you feel like your nervous system is just open, maybe look into acupuncture, because it has this pristine way of like amplifying or de-amplifying the vagus nerve and the sympathetic parasympathetic nerve in the body. And like through the working past that, you are going to essentially not feel like your nerves are completely open. And like what that's going to do is it's going to like shift your, it's almost like the, saying a lot alike. So it's the nervous system is completely opened by whatever was a triggering point for you. And because of this triggering point, it's kind of taken away your alignment with the divine. It's almost like somebody who is clairaudient. They can clearly hear God's voice. And then all of a sudden it gets shut down instantaneously. And so like, in order to open up the what needs to be opened, it's understanding and jotting out like the where you have not been showing up for yourself, right? The where you have limited your own expansion, like the where you're not living in your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your desires, right? Where you have been playing smaller than what you know yourself to be. Maybe there was a prophecy that was spoken over your life, right? Maybe there was an identification. So what I do know is a lot of indigos that grew up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, a lot of them were silenced, and a lot of the gifts that they held were essentially impeded by the programming of cartoons, the subtle responses. And this stuff's going to start coming out more and more, right? How we were manipulated as a society, as a culture, to like push into this variation. And you don't see it until you actually get out to other cultures that you're like, wow, why is this such a monster focus in our society, you know, in the States? And like you're gonna start, and who knows, I mean, you could be all over the world watching this, but I'm seeing somebody stateside kind of comparing like the way it is in other countries, and kind of like they're just showing me balancing the scales, or understanding like the what is actually taking place. I don't know. You're going to have to connect to spirit and to expand on that more. But there is this opportunity of change. There is this opportunity for you to step into divine connection with the animal realm, with the kids. Like this whole like being a forerunner for yourself, right? Stepping into the supernatural, understanding that like the gifts that you are given are not having a negative connotation, but instead are actually a gift from God. And like as you're releasing whatever you're holding on to in the sacral, right? I'm just getting it's a state of control. It's like controlling to the state where your nervous system is shot and like it's all living in your stomach. You could have a distended belly, right? You could be holding on to extra fat. And it could be because your cortisone levels are spiked, right? And so breath work, meditation, like going through and sitting by an ocean, journaling extensively, like getting in contact with Creator to understand like where does my magic lie? How am I supposed to rebirth myself as we proceed forward, right? And diving into the big reasons of the unknown, like how are you going to grow in this next phase? Have you done a mental mind map to where you figured out like how you want things to proceed moving forward? So is there another one? This one? No. Could also have something to do with bringing in a baby, or being exposed to a baby, or impacting the way the baby lives, right? The way the baby is growing up. Yeah. So go ahead and ground and identify where addiction is living at. And I'm getting a big hit in the back of the body, like lower mid back. where inadequacies in the heart center, where you haven't felt loved, where you haven't felt like the divine of who you are, where you have felt unseen, right? Where you have felt like unnoticed, where you have felt not acknowledged, and where you have been trying to hold on to the old, even though God has persuaded you to release what no longer serves you, right? And identify like the how you've been holding on to absolutely everything, regardless of what's been taking place in your current reality, right? It's the control mechanism. And then on the flip side, like go through and activate like where you're assessing yourself correctly, and where you are identifying that you've been in an emotional experience where everything has happened for your benefit and for your favor, and how you are stepping into divine positivity, how God is going to move mountains, how you are following your heart center, how you are loving your home, how you do love your family even if they are toxic, right? How you are connecting into the divinity of the who you are, right? And release all those blockages that have been kind of plaguing you up to this point. It's through the self-realization of the right where you are in the current moment. You're no longer the past and you're no longer the future. You are here in the now. And like through that understanding, your life and your desires are going to start unfolding at a rapid rate. Because remember, like if you are a manifester, if you're a generating manifester, if you are a projector, like those things are going to start like amplifying because the energy is in your favor, right? And so as you're going through and you are doing this releasing ceremony, maybe you haven't done it yet, but maybe you should be doing it. Like talk to God, talk to source, talk to energy, talk to your guides. And dream bigger than what you're currently reliving. Because again, thought forms are kind of sneaky bitches, because they end up trying to be pulled into your reality. So if you feel like all week you've been getting thought forms from this one person, like no, it's because they're looking for a feeding source and they no longer have a cord connected to you. Because after, I think it's like 7 years or something, after 6 months, the cords of detachment that have been through sexual intercourse are dissipated, right? But energetically, there are cords that take upwards of 7 years, depending on the relationship, on the soul's recognition, on the agreements of what you've been holding on to. So like if you have things that have been kind of dragging out, or have been creating an instability in your foundation, like write all that stuff out and truly release it, so that way you can get in all these blessings that want to come in for you. It's if you ask, it is given, right? And figure out the why you're still holding on to a lower paradigm, a lower time frame, and why your higher self is essentially like, is it your higher self or is it your ego, right? Is trying to keep you in a lower vibe. Because your higher self, if you're fully connected and aligned and with one with God, with creator, with source energy, like you're never going to hear a negative in your voice, right? You're never going to hear a sharp cutback, a meanness, just a dig, right? You're never going to hear any of that. It's going to be all positivity about moving you forward, about learning from the lessons, about being bigger and better than what you are today. And so, like, as you're proceeding forward, like, be grounded in the moment. Go walk in a forest. Go walk on the beach. Like, allow yourself to be in awe and wonder of nature, be in awe and wonder of birds. Like, ask the wind to dance with you, right? Connect in, if for those of you that are shamans, connect in with the elements, and understand that like you have the key to your own heart, and when you choose to value yourself in a higher state of vibration, you then can attract what you want to you instantaneously. It's not without delay. The monkey mind tells you it's going to take forever. It's not going to get here yet. When is it going to come? And the fact of the matter is like, it comes when you finally believe like that you can be the manifester, that you can make it come into your own reality. And so like, take this time between the next like 3 days and truly rip away the false facade that has been keeping you stuck. And I'm going to leave that there. I hope something in this resonated with you. If it did, please give it a like, share it, comment. And if you would like a reading or a healing, I am available and have open availability. And yeah, until next time, be well. Ciao.